when things are right, there is no effort. There is an effort insofar as you have to do a lot of preparation to get certain things right, to work together to plan things. But in terms of getting along and working with each other, there has to, at the beginning, there has to be a fundamental respect for the other person and what the other person is doing professionally, first and foremost. Beyond that, secondly, as a human being. And I said that on purpose, professionally first, because we're working together. And if there's something beyond that, so much the better. And there is. But the fundamental thing was, and remains, do you respect what the other person is doing? And if the answer is yes, why would there be any problem? Doesn't mean that if that doesn't mean that I would do everything that he's doing the same way that he's doing, and doesn't mean that he would do everything that I'm doing the same way. It means that we are individuals, we have our own personalities, and we have to respect that and work within that framework. And so the fundamental respect being there, I don't know what the problem is. You know, it just was a very natural thing. So, and I'm somebody who doesn't like conflict, and but I've never had a reason to have a conflict. Rabbi Dan is also a very, very easygoing, welcoming person. And now I just hit on a word that I know you didn't ask me about, but I want to talk about that, which is this has been an incredibly welcoming congregation from the start until now, and ongoing. I hear that from congregants who walk into the synagogue for the first time, how welcoming people are, generally speaking. Just generally. It doesn't always have to come from the rabbi and the cantor. It can come from the person sitting on the row next to you. And that came across to me and Michelle, my wife, on our audition day here, my audition day, at Beth Jacob. I came in and sang on an Erev Shabbat, Friday night, and on a Yom Shabbat, there was a Kiddush afterwards. And boy, people were just smiling and nice. They weren't smiling because I had done a great job. It wasn't that. It was just because they were friendly and they wanted to talk. They wanted to make a personal connection with me, and they were welcoming. And I came in and I changed melodies here and there because I don't know what coming in on day one. I don't know what the indigenous melodies are of Beth Jacob. So I sang what I sang, and people, instead of going, wait a minute, what was that? What was that? It was all smiles, all getting to know you. And I realized this was and my wife did too, this was a really warm community. There were a couple of moments that stand out for me. One major one is the renovations, the shul within the shul. I was not involved at the outset the way that some other people were. I came in with that project already underway, not the building. The construction hadn't happened yet, but I was there for the moments for the groundbreaking moment, and when it was complete. And wow, what a transformation. First of all, to see everyone working together towards this common goal was remarkable. And I'd been involved in other synagogues in projects like the dedication of a Torah, Sefer Torah, and that was wonderful. This was a little different. This had involved so many different people at different levels of giving and involvement, and the passion was there across the board. And then when it was done, when it was complete, there was such a joy, a palpable joy about this. Neighbors who aren't even Jewish wanted to see what was going on with this building. It's just a curiosity, and then from that comes an excitement. And I'm looking to my side here, looking at some of the effects of this wonderful renovations, that go beyond construction and building and architecture. It goes beyond that. The atmosphere. Architecture created a sense of atmosphere. Space created a sense of atmosphere. There's a lightness to the room. There is brightness. There is more room. There is comfort level. And when we were having the services in the smaller chapel downstairs, that could seat roughly 75 people, if I'm not mistaken. On a regular Shabbat, you'd get 50 to 75 people. In this room, you can seat more people, and people feel more comfortable. So we, on a regular basis, have been getting more people than that, on an average Shabbat. And so the moment of that project of building the shul within the shul was transformative. A second moment that comes to mind, and I wrote about it in one of the bulletins, was Sam Lewis's birthday, his 100th birthday. It was, here's one congregant reaching a milestone moment in his life, but it's a moment that we all took pride in and shared in that joy, and it was celebrated in the walls of this synagogue, and that captured the sense of community that we have here at Beth Jacob. I love the music of the synagogue. I always did as a child. I remember sitting in a synagogue when I was about 10 or 11 years old with my father and hearing this man go up and sing the Haftarah, and he had, a beautiful tenor, operatic tenor voice. And after he was finished, I started chatting with him to talk to him about how wonderful his voice was. Only in retrospect do I realize, well, not the average 10-year-old doesn't go and talk to people about their voices. So I always had a love for music, but it was in the context, in particular, of this of synagogue, of prayer. And when I sing synagogue prayer, whether I'm leading services or participating as a congregant, there is an attachment to my heritage that is immediate. I am singing music to words that my ancestors sang, that our ancestors sang. And that is incredibly relevant to me. And I felt throughout my life a passion of the ages transmitted to me, and I want to impart that passion to everyone else, whether they're older than me, they're my age, or it's the next generation. I want to impart that. And that sense of passion for our traditions, I mentioned that it's connected to music, but it's beyond that. It's connected to a sense of heritage, a sense of community. And that takes us to life cycle events, to moments such as baby namings, brit milahs, these wonderful moments that we've had in the synagogue, bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, weddings, and unfortunately, when people pass away. And I have to say that it's easy to feel part of a community when things are all hunky-dory and going well. But actually it is, I don't want to say deeper, but it is more bonding when somebody passes away. I find that there's an incredible magic that takes place. The community bonds together to support, to lift up the mourners. And I play a part in that when I can, in any way I can is what I mean. And I say I play a part because there are so many players in this. There is the congregants, there is myself, there is the rabbi. And when you speak one-on-one with the mourners, it's hard to share what that's like. But they're letting you into, when I get to speak to someone who's just lost somebody, and I say I get to, it's an unfortunate situation I don't want to be in, but I am lucky that someone is sharing this love they have for the person who's just passed away. And they're letting me into their lives and into their hearts, not because I am Eyal, but I'm a Cantor. And it's a role that I am humbled by.